Welcome to the surrounding woods of Empty Mountain. I'm here on a walkabout, and in part I came out to visit Mitra. This is a special tree friend that I call Mitra, and Mitra means friend in Sanskrit, I believe. And I come out here sometimes to talk with her and visit with her, and she's a very good friend and guide and teacher. I'm also out collecting sticks for our wood stove inside the cabin. I'll often go around collecting like kindling to start fires in the wood stove, and you know, it's getting warmer here in western Montana, but it still gets quite cold, well under freezing here at night and in the early morning for a while, and so we still need fires inside our cabin, but we're kind of averaging like one a day right now. And once in a great while we don't need one at all, but typically we're still needing at least one fire a day. Sometimes two, and they're small again because our cabin is small. It's a 12 by 14 cabin with the loft, you know, around 225 square feet inside the cabin, so it doesn't take much to warm it up. But it's nice to collect sticks for kindling. I also use newspaper, which I get when I go to the recycling center to drop off our recycling. I will pilfer newspaper from the newspaper bin at the recycling center, which is a really good resource for us. So we use paper also, but sticks, yeah, having sticks and paper, of course, is best, having different sizes. So yeah, it's a lovely day today. It's Monday, April 20th. And I think it's supposed to be like 70 degrees today. And this is one of those days that I kind of wish I didn't have to go to town. Mondays are my go to Missoula days, my Missoula Mondays. However, it's a great thing for me to do, to go to town on Mondays. It's an hour away. And I go specifically to attend my meditation group that meets on Monday nights in Missoula called Be Here Now Sangha. Sangha means spiritual community in Buddhism. And so I go to town every Monday. Unless I'm super sick or I'm out of town, I go to Missoula on Mondays, and so I am looking very forward to going to Sangha. And if I didn't have Sangha tonight, I probably wouldn't go to town. Because it's just like one of those days that would be nice to just stay put here in the woods. Yeah, so springtime here is unfolding, and I went on a walkabout, so I'm starting to sort of arm myself up against ticks. Ticks are specifically active here, like right as the winter ends and the spring starts. So we have like 2 months when they're like super active. And we do a number of things to protect ourselves against ticks here. I've got my long pants tucked into my socks. I have my t-shirt tucked into my pants. I've got all my long hair contained in a hat, and yeah, long pants, long shirts. And we are not quite in full tick armored up in our tick armor. We call it our tick armor, which is just our work clothes, which we store outside, and we spray them with permethrin, which works super well. So we've been doing that as standard now every spring. We'll permethrin our clothes. The permethrin lasts like 6 weeks and through like 4 washes, and just works super well. So we've been really happy with using permethrin. And I personally am not as wigged out by ticks as Mike is, but also I'm not working in the woods like he does with like milling lumber and getting logs and stuff. And so like if I were more covered in ticks and working out in the woods, I might be a little bit more, wigged out by them. But, I do like to do my best to try to keep them you know, not on me as much as possible, especially not in my hair. Holy cow. Searching for ticks through my long hair is not a fun time. So sort of the nice thing though here in western Montana is we don't have deer ticks, and that's what carries Lyme disease. We did just have our like first official documented case of a Lyme tick, deer tick here in Montana last year in 2025. Because the Lyme ticks, you know, the deer ticks are like expanding their zone of, with climate differences and changes going on, the Lyme ticks are spreading out and going north, but they're not prevalent here whatsoever. And so we have wood ticks, or dog ticks sometimes they're called, and they'll carry Rocky Mountain spotted fever. But I've not heard that that is like a huge deal here, Rocky Mountain spotted fever. So, and there's also other sort of co-illnesses you can get from ticks. But here we are lucky that we don't have much in the way of really any Lyme carrying ticks. So, you know, but no one likes ticks, having ticks on them. Like, I don't think anyone enjoys that. So we do our best to keep them off of us. So we're in tick season, and that's like 2 months, you know. In the thick of summer, they're around, but way less. So we don't, you know, like do all the tick stuff with our clothes once summer hits. So like around, you know, like July, August, maybe, you know, starting in June, depending on the weather. So anyway, that's a little bit of update on the tick front, just in case you were curious. Like, I wonder how the ticks are there. Now you know. So, yeah, I decided to go on a little walkabout before I'm going to go to town here in a little bit and just kind of soak up some of the sunshine here. I am noticing some really small little flowers starting to grow up here, just the starts of them. There's little tiny purple ones right here, and I've been scanning around too for looking for yarrow, which I don't see is growing yet. And I collected a bunch last year. I use it to make tea, and I really enjoy yarrow for tea, and so I'm almost out of my supply from last year that I've used over the winter, so I'll be needing some new stuff soon, but I'm sure it'll start growing in a little bit here. So yeah, I'll show you. Let's see, I'll grab this. Just kind of look around here. So I'm technically, if you can see that ribbon right there, technically I'm on the neighbor's property, but I think it's cool. So I'm right next to our property. Morning Sun Meadow is just right that away. And yeah, it's just a lovely day today. We're actually supposed to get some snow later this week. It's supposed to be like 70 today, and I think it's supposed to be a high of like 30 something on Thursday. So that's what the Montana spring does, and really all throughout the year. We, as I've mentioned many times before, just the vacillating temperature. We have a really big difference of temperatures here in Montana that just can swing very quickly within a day. 30 to 40 degree point spread in a day is not uncommon here throughout the year. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna have a couple 70-degree days, and then some, you know, high 30-degree days as the high, and just kind of riding the waves here. I am personally in a transition stage right now. I recently and unexpectedly lost my job, and I was expecting to have that job for quite a while, and that was not the case. So I've been now out of work for the last, since the end of February. It's almost 2 months. And so I'm percolating on what my next chapter will look like, work for pay wise. I was working remotely and very part-time. And so I'm just kind of scouting around, seeing what's out there and seeing what I want to do maybe next. You know, things change sometimes when we don't see it coming, and yeah, so I'm in a new chapter that is just in the early starts of unfolding, so we'll see what comes of that. I have a nerve condition and nerve pain, so like my limitations are pretty steep, and what I can do is very limited, so it'll have to be something pretty specific work-wise. And I was originally thinking I didn't want to do something remotely again. That was my first remote type of job, and I primarily was willing to do that because of the organization I was working for. I really believe in and believed in and still believe in, and I don't know if I would want to do remote working, you know, for another business or organization again or not. I'm not sure. We also are super spotty here with our Wi-Fi and access and stuff. But anyway, we'll see. I'm just kind of keeping my eyes and ears and heart open to see what comes next. And in the meantime, well, I'll enjoy working around here at Empty Mountain, putting effort into doing what we do out here and putting our programs together for the summer. We just had a morning of mindfulness that we hosted in Missoula yesterday, and that was lovely. And I really enjoy putting program events together that bring people together in really intentional ways with mindfulness and meditation and heartfelt sharing. And so that was a delight yesterday to come together with a small group of folks in Missoula. And now our program offerings moving forward this year will all be here on site at Empty Mountain now that the weather is supporting that, because we are an outdoor gathering place right now until we have more indoor infrastructure, which will hopefully be coming in the future, one step at a time. So one of the things I'm enjoying while sitting out here is I can hear the thumping of a rough-necked grouse looking for a mate. It's a common sound out here in the woods this time of year. And if you're not familiar with it, it sounds like someone's trying to start a generator. Like, it sounds like an engine noise of someone trying to start something that doesn't ever get started. It's really interesting. But yeah, we looked it up, and it's the grouses, the male grouse does it to attract a female mate. And yeah, it's a noise they make, like with somehow like they pump their wings in a certain way, and it makes like the way the air travels over their wings makes a very specific noise. It travels for quite a ways, but I actually think this one's fairly close because I can hear him pretty well. But it's a really cool noise. I was listening for him. So anyway, yeah, the Empty Mountain update. I'll show you, let's see if, I don't know if this camera will pick up the little tiny, well, you can see them a little bit. They're tiny tinies. Little like indigo colored flowers. The Oregon grape I see is also starting to send up some yellow flowers, which is nice. And the yarrow and the Oregon grape grow together often, and actually I collect both of them for tea. I use the Oregon grape root mixed with the yarrow leaves for making tea. And people are always asking about like the health benefits, or like what are the medicinal benefits of both of those. And I do know them, I kind of forget them right now, but ultimately that's not why I drink it. I just drink it because it's growing. I like to pick it, and I enjoy the flavor of the tea. So I'm not drinking it for medicinal benefits. I'm just drinking it because like it's a good time to pick it and, you know, have that be a way of connecting with the land. And then I enjoy drinking it just as a flavor taste situation goes. So so there is health benefits, medicinal benefits. I don't remember what they are because I don't really care. I just like the tea. I like picking picking stuff that's growing on the land. This is all Oregon grape here. This green coming up. So, all right, thanks for tuning in. A little bit of an update. Let's see, I don't know if I can pick it up. It says love on it that I hung from Mitra. a while back. Pretty sure I have this Montana Moxie. All right, heading back.